everybody. All right, where's Kimberly? There she is. Hi, it's nice to meet you on here for the first time.
Yeah.
So real quick, there might be a few others filtering on, but I just wanted to get started real quick with an announcement and give the microphone to Kim so she can share all the knowledge on Instagram. We're super excited about this call. I know that my team, that's one area we know that Instagram is the place to be, but where we're struggling, we use it for our stories, but we struggle to find our tribe and to be able to connect. So I'm really excited to see how Kim has grown her account. Alexis shared with me that her account was hacked and she basically had to start fresh, start new, and she's been able to build her account again. So it's definitely possible. So welcome, Kim, to our call. For those who don't know, we're Team Pure Simple Fitness, and I've been a coach for years, for like 6 years now. I'm a one-star diamond, and my team is awesome. We're comprised of a lot of health professionals. We have athletic trainers, physical therapists, PAs. Some of us are moms, some of us aren't, but we're just looking to better help women live their best life. And so Kim has been a coach for only 20 months, and she's already a diamond coach. She's a Success Club 5 all-star. She's a military wife, and we're super excited to have her on our call tonight. So take it away, Kim. We'd love you have, so with Zoom, we only have 40 minutes. So we're gonna have you just talk, give all your points, and then hopefully we'll have some time for a Q&A at the end.
Okay, perfect. And lucky for you guys, I'm a really fast talker. I already plan to keep this like short and sweet and to the point, because I know for a lot of us, it's like 9 o'clock and I'm a grandma, so it's like getting close to my bedtime. But I'm Kim. Like Natalie mentioned, I'm a military spouse. I am also a full-time teacher, and I also virtually assist for 2 people. So I'm very, very busy. I work from home, but you know, with everything I have going on, I'm super busy. I also recently moved last year to a state where I know nobody. I know like 4 people now in the entire state. And I'm just work at home here with my dog. My husband is deployed right now. So before I start this, I want to say I am probably the world's most boring person. And I say that because I don't really, you know, go out and like do anything. Like I'm not, you know, somebody that's like always traveling or doing anything like that. So I don't want you to think that to have a large Instagram following, you have to be constantly doing this, you know, all these crazy things with these like super beautiful pictures that you see on social media. It doesn't have to be like that. You can grow your following, you can lose your entire following and then grow it again and still be successful. So yes, I had my account hacked earlier this year at 11,000 followers. And it was really crushing because, you know, you guys all know that I worked hard to build that following. And like I said, I had just recently moved and didn't know anyone and kind of felt like I had lost my whole community. You know, I FaceTimed my best friend and was just like, bawling to her about losing all of this. So I really had to dig deep and figure out ways to build my following again. So what I did was I had to, you know, of course, go back and find all of my core people. I made the mistake of not pulling people off of Instagram when I was talking to them. And what I mean by that is when I would have conversations with people and they would show interest in my groups and things like that, I would not get them into my email. I would not text them. I would just keep them on Instagram. So all of those people that I had, you know, in my DMs and things like that, well, yes, I did have a list of them going on, you know, a spreadsheet. It was really, really difficult to find all of those people again. So that's going to be my first little tip for you is if you're talking to people on Instagram, make sure that you get their email, make sure you get their phone number. I personally am a big fan of just texting people because it's really fast, but make sure you do that. So the number one thing to, you know, building a following, and I don't really like to think of it as a following, I really do like to think of it as a community, is, you know, finding people who, you know, for lack of a better word, fit who you are. So like I said, I'm a military spouse. I'm also a special education teacher. I have a dog. So usually I gravitate towards people who are kind of have that style. Now I know it's really easy to say, oh yeah, I'm a mom. I do this, I do that. I'm a nurse, whatever. But to find those people I know is tricky. So the hard part is that, you know, we're posting on our stories, we're posting on our feed, and it's like, well, my story views are staying the same. It's like the same 200 people, the same 300 people. And I'm going to my stories to find people to reach out to, but I'm kind of running low on like fresh faces. So this is where the work has to come in. You know, of course, we would all love to be able to just organically grow these huge followings without having to put in a ton of work, but that's just not the way that social media works now. There are a lot of people doing a lot of different things on social media, and to really get yourself seen, you have to put yourself out there. So my favorite way to find new people on social media is to follow hashtags. So I want you to think about things that define you outside of Beachbody. And I want you to get a little bit creative with the hashtags that you're following. Because, you know, of course, you know, that you could follow, say, the dog mom hashtag. But if you were to click on that hashtag, you're going to find that that's pretty full of other Beachbody coaches. While that's great to connect with other coaches to do things like this, you want to find people who want to run the business with you, not you can kind of run alongside. So get a little bit creative with the hashtags that you're following. Like I said, my husband is deployed, so I follow the deployment sucks hashtag. And from there, I've actually found a lot of people who are in a similar situation that I'm in, or have just recently experienced the same thing. And they're not necessarily Beachbody coaches or other network marketers. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they've already started building their business. So, you know, you want to find new, fresh faces. I like to call it just like the everyday girl, you know, just the person on social media that's posting about their life. You know, it doesn't have hundreds of thousands of followers as a you know, fashion blogger, just your average everyday girl that you would want to be friends with. So what I do by following that hashtag or following a hashtag is I look for people who have larger accounts that are posting with that hashtag. So if I'm taking the hashtag deployment sucks, for example, I'm going to click on somebody's page and I see that they posted a picture of somebody else. So it's a photographer or someone like that. I'm going to click and see if they tagged the person that they took the picture of. So a lot of times with photography pages, you know, for their own business, they'll post pictures of families, pictures of, you know, deployment homecomings, things like that. So I'll click and see if they tag that person, and then I'll go to that person's Instagram and see if I can, you know, find anything out about them. Are they already a coach? Are they already involved in another business? You know, is their profile private? Things like that. If their profile is not private, then I'll go to their page, I'll follow them, I'll like a few of their pictures, and then, you know, I'll comment on one maybe. And it doesn't even have to be anything about fitness related. The last girl that I got talking to, who I'm building a connection with, I commented about her earrings, and she ended up sending me a DM like, oh, thanks, they're from, you know, I can't even honestly remember the place they're from, but that's how we started our conversation, was because I commented on her earrings. And then I said, oh, thanks, I noticed your husband is also deployed too. And that's how we got to talking. From there, she knows that I'm a real person. She knows that I'm not trying to just sell her something or get her on my team. You know, I genuinely want to build that relationship. So that's my next point, is building relationships with people. I really like to do this in my stories. I know that Natalie mentioned that you guys are really, really great at your Instagram stories. But the one thing that I want to touch on is that with your social media, especially your stories specifically, is that people want to get to know you. I think that it's really great to post, you know, the motivational quotes and, you know, clips of your workout and things like that. But from posting those things, people really don't get to know your true personality. So in my Instagram stories, I like to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. I like to share when I find a really, really great recipe, and I'll, you know, give them a chance to screenshot it. I'll share when I'm going through a hard time, like when I have anxiety, so occasionally I have a lot of trouble sleeping. So I'll talk about that, and I'll ask for tips and tricks. And then one other thing that I really like to do is I like to share polls and different stickers on my Instagram. So what I'll do is I'll just share a poll about something super simple that people aren't afraid to respond to. Yesterday, I got my nails done, and I posted in my story that my nails and my toes, I didn't match them. And I was wondering if other people like to match their nails and their toes, or if they didn't care. So that kind of poll, somebody's not going to be like, oh, well, I don't want to respond to that because then she's going to reach out to me, and then I don't know, I don't want to commit to anything. That is just a fun, no commitment way to get people to reach out to you, and then you can respond back, hey, thanks for voting on my poll. I was totally expecting, everyone to vote on this or vote on that. So yes, exactly. People want to get to know, Alexis just said, people want to get to know the vulnerable side of you and not just the Beachbody coach. And let me tell you, I have had more people message me about the vulnerable things that I post, the things that are a little bit scary, way more than, me crossing off the days on my MM100 calendar, which is still great. People still want to see you're committed, but like I said, they really want to see the real you. So as a newer coach, you do have to make sure that you're being very consistent. I'm sure, all of us know this, but consistency is going to be your key. And one of the ways that I stay consistent is kind of building a routine with my social media. So what I mean by routine is I get up every morning, and usually the first post that I make every day on my story is a post of my dog. And it's just something silly that he's doing. He makes these funny faces, but it's something entertaining for people to see. And then I'll go into my breakfast, and then I'll go into my workout. I'll explain what I'm doing that day while I'm drinking my pre-workout. So people always know what to expect from me in my stories. And if I don't post, whatever I'm doing that day, people will keep you accountable to that. People will ask you, where's your workout today? Or, people will legitimately message me and be like, you haven't posted Bo at all today on your stories. Like, we need more, Bo's my dog. We need more Bo today on your Instagram. So the more you can stick to a routine, one, it's going to give you, an idea of what to be posting. There's never I don't know what to post today, I'm running out of things. Because if you stick to a routine and a schedule, you'll always have something to fall back on, even on days when you feel like you're not really doing much. And then two, people will always know what to expect from you. And then the last thing that I wanted to touch on is just tips that I have for getting to Diamond. So like Natalie said, I've been a coach for 20 months, and I hit Diamond earlier this year. So I think the biggest game changer for me is connecting with those people that I'm finding on social media by building those relationships with, the everyday girl. And yes, I'm pretty close to 2-star, Alexis said. But the big game changer for me has been giving people the opportunity to be a discount coach. I don't know if anyone else falls in the same boat, but when I was a new coach, I was really scared of sharing the business opportunity or even just sharing the discount coach opportunity. I felt like I was like, oh, well, I already got them to say yes to the challenge pack or, whatever, but, I don't want to push them anymore and ask them about being a discount coach. And now I bring it up every single time. It's, for me, it's like, well, if I don't give this person the opportunity to get 25% off of products they're probably already going to buy anyways, and then have the opportunity to get to our team page, get a feel for our community, have the chance to, hop on our live workouts every Saturday. And we let, of course, we let just challengers get on those workouts too. But, then if they're in our team page, they see the reminders and things like that. Really, I feel like I'm being selfish if I don't share that with them. There is literally no reason for me to not share that with somebody except for my own fear. So I just got to get over it and help somebody else. So, with that, I've been able to sign discount coaches, which of course builds your team and gets you closer to Diamond. It's not, the only thing that's going to get you to Diamond, but I will say I've had a lot of coaches that, saw me go to, a lot of discount coaches that saw me go to Summit. They, see me show up every single day. They see me do the live workouts with my team. They see us tagging each other in things on Instagram, and it makes them want to be a part of it. So I've had some of my, rock star coaches come from just discount coaching. So yeah, I think that was all of the notes that I had. And yeah, that's pretty much all the notes that I had. Like I said, I was going to keep it short and sweet. Does anyone have any questions or anything for me, or anything that you'd like me to touch on again?
Yeah, so I posted in the chat
Kim, how do you go about, okay, so this is, I think, where a lot of us are struggling. It's like, we might go to hashtags that we think that, we'd find people. And then I might comment a few times and then I don't see that much engagement. It's like, I just like give up on it, where I know personally I have to be more consistent, but like, what's your like system? Like, do you always have 10 accounts where you're like following for that week to like really be like on their account? Like what's your system of figuring out, okay, this one's not going to work, let's move on to the next one, and how long does it take?
Well, first, when I go to follow that person, I kind of see how frequently they're posting. So if there's somebody, like, I look on their last post, and the last post they made was like middle of July, they're probably not going to be on social media very often for me to engage and build that relationship with them anyways. So what I like to do is, especially because I'm so busy, I don't like to overwhelm myself, and I just find five key people that I will keep track of for 3 weeks. I make sure every time I see their post, I'm liking it. I make sure, every time they're even posting in their story. I mean, I'm not responding to every single story because that's kind of obnoxious. If I see something funny that catches my eye, or if they're like wearing, a cute top or whatever, I'll respond to maybe like one of their stories every other day. So I'm continuously popping up in their newsfeed. But the nice way about the way the algorithm works is the more that I'm interacting with them, that tells the algorithm that we're friends. So they're going to see more of my stuff popping up into their newsfeed. And then say I go to a specific hashtag. Say if you were a nurse and you followed, a nursing hashtag, you don't want to go to that hashtag, follow 5 people that are using that, and then not have anything about nursing on your Instagram. I'm gonna go follow another military spouse or 5 other military spouses, and then I'm gonna go to my Instagram and post, a wedding picture of me and my husband in his uniform, or a post about me talking about struggling with deployment. And you can really apply that to anything. You can apply that to, being a mom. You can apply that even just, if you're a teacher, if you are a dog mom, anything. It can be really specific to you, but you don't want to follow these people where you're posting or you're following in these hashtags and then not have anything that's related to that on your page, because they're just going to be like, this girl came out of nowhere. We don't have anything in common. You want to show them through your social media that you have things in common with them. So, and then after I, I'm engaging with them for a while, I'll try to throw, a few posts, like call to actions about coaching in there. I'll try to post on my story. And then I would say slowly I start to kind of approach that person about coaching. I know there's a lot of people who are very aggressive with their business, and if that works for you, that is great. I'm not telling you to not do that, but I am more of the slow and steady wins the race kind of gal. I'll just, compliment them on what they're posting on their feed. If they're asking me a question, especially, I'll make sure I go into a lot of detail to answer, try to really show them a lot of my personality, use emojis, things like that. Just, you don't want to come across as being really flat on your responses, because a lot of times my coaches, they'll show me their messages and they have these great bubbly personalities in their story, and then in their messages it's like, well, how come you didn't use like any of the emojis you used when you text me? Or like, how come you just like ended your sentence with like okay and a period? Like, they're not going to think that you want to talk to them very much. So just really, really make sure that you're showing them your real personality. And like I said, slow and steady wins the race. So I don't want to just, come at them with like, you should be a coach. But I like to just kind of compliment their content. I like to, bring up the fact like, oh, I feel this way too, or, oh, I could totally relate to that. So when I do kind of bring up the business opportunity, it's not a huge surprise. They already know me. They already know what I'm about. They have hints of what I do on my social media. So then they're kind of expecting that coach invite. Oh, yes. And then Amanda said voice and video is really helpful too. I very rarely will ever send anyone just a text invite anymore. I will always, take a video or send them a voice memo, because, again, it's just all about showing your personality, and how you're really going to find and connect with your tribe is just by being you. So,
yeah. I have a question, if I may.
Yeah.
So when you're getting to know these people, you're going right into the coaching opportunity and having obviously success with that, as opposed to getting them to be a challenger first and then a coach. Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess it would depend on the person. The people who I'm really, really building relationships with on social media are going to be people who I want I'm kind of looking at for the coaching opportunity. If I'm building relationships with somebody on social media, and I just think that they could really benefit from, just the program in general, I'll probably be a little bit quicker to offer that to them, especially because, they have, I always post about my groups and things like that. But it could definitely work for challenge groups too. I'm not saying it's just exclusive to the coaching opportunity, but I would not be so, I don't want to say hesitant, but I would not be so slow to present that opportunity to somebody because, I think that the sooner I, can get them into one of my groups, then they can kind of work their way into being a coach. But, like Gabby said, she just commented, if I didn't sign up as a coach, I wouldn't be here. So that's why I always present the discount coach opportunity. So really, regardless of what I'm offering to them first, they're kind of going to get the coaching opportunity anyways, but I do kind of build a stronger relationship with them before I present the coaching opportunity. Did that answer your question?
No, so I think what Gabby was saying, so they are.
Yeah, so no,
first.
They can be. I personally will talk to a lot of people to get them to sign up as coaches, before I have them sign up as challengers. But I do know that some people like to have their people sign up as challengers first. I guess you just really have to get a feel for what they need and what they're wanting from you. And that's, again, really going to come from building that relationship with them. So if you're feeling like they're just, like I have one gal that I'm talking to that she has told me several times that she's just really down on herself. She needs just something really positive in her life that she can focus on for her. That kind of person, I would probably talk to them about just being a challenger first, and then, kind of finish with the discount coach opportunity, so they can get that discount and be consistent on Shakeology and things like that to get their results. But if it's somebody who I feel like they're saying that they're just really frustrated at their job, or they just really need something more, then that's kind of when I'm going to present the coach opportunity. So it's just really, getting a feel for your people. Was that better? Did that answer your question? Okay, good. Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, and Kimberly, I guess you're just saying, like, never think that someone might not be interested, because a lot of times it just might be, you might ask them and they're like, no, I'm not doing that coaching thing. But then you start to talk to them and you mention that it's just about becoming a discount member and being a part of something bigger and having more accountability. But if you didn't ask in the first place, then they might have never, and then they might be intrigued. That's what I noticed too. Like the ones you do ask, they're like, oh my God, I feel like really, like, they feel honored that you're asking. And I was like, I would have never thought they thought that. Like, why didn't I ask before?
Yeah. And just one last thing, because we have less than a minute, I do want to mention that if I do approach somebody as being a discount coach or a VIP member, however you phrase it, I always send that to them in a voice message. I feel like if I send it to them in just like a text, it comes across as being like very, like I'm pitching them almost. And if I send them a voice message, they can really get the feel for, oh, this person is, just really wanting to be able to get a discount and find a community and things like that. So I have, 100% more success saying that in a voice message than I would, typing all of that out in a text message. So as for a lot of people, it's getting out of your comfort zone, but it's definitely worth it to, branch out of that.
Thank you so much. This was really great. You jammed a lot in a short amount of time.
I tried.
So awesome. Thank you so much. And if you don't mind, we'll send you some questions if any of my teammates had any.
Yeah, totally.
We'll just message you. And then Alexis, if you can just send us the scripts that you were talking about, could you send it to me in a private message? I don't know.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. That's okay. But thanks so much for being on, and we're looking forward to